Well, hello, light enthusiasts. It's Ron Howard back at it again. I've taken the leap and I'm using a microphone. I found it from my camera gear and I've plugged it into the computer. So, this is sort of a test to make sure it sounds okay. I've also put the house preview on the screen, so I'm going to see if this looks large enough to be showing what these effects look like. So, let's give it a shot. Let's just listen to this from the very beginning, and you'll see some new effects that I put over here. So let's go. This is a bug man. All right, that's where we're at so far. We're up to just over, about 42 seconds and a little more going on. I know I said I wasn't going to put any Christmas stuff in until we got to the lyrics, but I had some really good advice from the X-Lite Facebook group yesterday. Because I wasn't really happy with the way the tree was looking and with the drums, and I wanted to change that. It was suggested, hey, maybe you should check out this program called Piskel. Let's see if I can pull this up here and show you what this is. Piskel, is this right? Piskel. New Piskel. This is it. And what's really interesting about this, let me log into this. I'll show you what I did with a couple of mine. Oh, well, there we go. So much for security. It logged me right in. And I don't know if I have any private. There was one that I was working on. Well, let me kind of start this from the beginning. If I want to create a GIF file or find something that's out on the internet and clean it up and resize it, this is the perfect tool. This is free. Piskel.com. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in a picture. I'm going to go here and say, you know what, browse for images. You can bring in a PNG, JPG, BMP, animated GIF. And I do know what those stand for, but I'm not going to boast because boasting's bad. All right, so let's check this out. Let's go in here and look for an image that we might want to clean up. So let's go to here to Rock Guitar Santa. And this is actually found in the Files folder on the X-Lite's Facebook forum under Files that you can use. And what I like about this is for my panel matrix, my P10 panel matrix, which will be 8x8. So that's going to be 256 pixels by 128. And I go in here and resize this, hit import. It's going to say you're about to create a new Piskel, unsaved changes will be lost. So what? That's fine. And it gives me an image here. And here's the second image. And what I did that you saw in that playback of the sequence is I went in here and I erased all this area here. And I made it black. So then I took my eyedropper tool, I found some black area, and then I used my bucket and made it black. Now, if I put my black bucket here, it makes everything black. It does it really fast, except it also looks for this color. Unless there's another way around that, like I could do in Photoshop. I had no problem kind of outlining this. It's pretty quick. Control Z to get rid of that. So really the eraser, you can set it to really small setting to get in these little areas to large. And what I did, because it wasn't critical, is I just quickly kind of went around it like this, and I'm just using a mouse. I've got a pad too that I can use that allows me to use a pen and Intuit system that's nice, but you know me, I'm too lazy to pull it out of my desk, which is about 30 inches in front of me. But I just did this and went all the way around. And then what you do after you've cleaned it up and resized it, you tell it that you want to export it. And you can export it as a GIF, PNG, whatever you like. And then just download as an animated GIF. And then what that does is it allowed me to pull that in to here, and this is what it looks like. So here you can see maybe it's not perfectly cleaned up, but from the street, I don't think you're going to notice that. So Piskel.com for cleaning up your GIF images. I plan on going back to my other sequences and cleaning up some of those GIFs and resizing them. I don't want to have to use the scale here. I noticed in previous versions of X-Lights that when you use scale to fit that you didn't get the movement. And I think with .40, that's not been an issue, but I have had some issues bringing in regular GIFs where there's some type of weird thing going on with the color and the movement. So try to scale it to try to fit it within the application Piskel, then bring it in, and it's much cleaner. And I don't have to hit the scale to fit button here. So that's Piskel. All right, let's take a look at some of these other things that I've done that's kind of new. On the Matrix, I put some fire under Santa for the next section, and I had him moving along to rainbows dropping on him. Nothing fancy about that. You'll see on this bottom layer here for the Matrix that I'm using the meteors. That's normal. The next layer is the fire. That's normal. And then I have the image. And on the image, I told 1 reveals 2. That puts putting the Santa in front of the meteors. And by the way, the meteors, there's different cool effects you could choose with this. If I click on the meteors, and that's using rainbow down, if I chose implode, this gives kind of a cool effect. Watch this refresh. I like that one too. I kind of went back and forth. Well, which one do I want? And you know, I don't want people to get sick when they're watching it, like they're stuck in some type of vortex. But also explode was kind of cool. And give that a second. There we are. So I thought, well, it's kind of Christmassy if I just have them all fall down. So I left it alone with that. I might change the colors, not sure. But that was that effect. Let's go back up to the top here. Let's kind of start at the top and work our way down. On the wreath, all I did here was from middle with the line effect. I told from the middle, use single line, red and white, and use a 3D fade. And that's the effect I got. So this tool here has been instrumental, the line tool. So simple, but so effective. And if we look at our spinners all, I have this open. A lot of times I'll collapse these so I have some more room to work, but I'm using a layer effect on the spinners. On the bottom is fire, and on the top is line. So left to right on the line, 3D fade, single line for the layer settings. And then for the fire, it's not making a huge difference. It's barely noticeable, but if I was to turn that off, I think you might be able to see it, you might not. There are some times where I'm playing with the layer effects and I don't know if I'm seeing a difference. Then I'll remove it. And it's like, oh, it's subtle. And then I'm like, well, do I put it back in? Do I take it out? I'll leave it because I might actually play with that effect later to get it to do something different. And with the fire, I'm using layered. Again, you have to really experiment with these things to see what looks good. And the whole idea behind this look here was it was starting to feel too much like Halloween. So I wanted to introduce a rocking Santa into the mix and not wait to the lyrics. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I changed my mind. The windows, I went with a white, just circling. I could have chosen the line tool for Windows All, but the different size of the windows might have slowed the right 2 windows down too much, and the smaller windows might have been going too fast. So sometimes it's better to separate those. And it's easy copy paste. You know, copy this, Control C, put it over here, paste it. And of course, I have all of my timing marks turned off. There's my by fill, my note onset. I like note onset when I'm going to go in here really close to see what's going on and really get into the details. By feel is where I have certain punches in the song that I want to hit. And then there's, of course, beats. Okay, so let me turn these off. And let me hit shift, double click. There we go, back to that. And I don't know, if you guys are using a mouse that has a wheel that allows you to toggle the wheel left and right, mine allows me to do this, which I really like. So the wheel up and down, right, and then left and right. I found that by accident some months ago. All right, let's go down here to the eaves. I chose a butterfly effect with the eaves. It's not doing much, it's more for ambience, but it gives that kind of eerie feel. And I did that for both the eaves and verts. And if I open up my eaves all group, you'll see that I have all my different parts that make up all eaves. Same thing with house verts all. Left, one, left. And it makes it easier to understand. I also like to put my house views of everything. I like to put house all at the top. That's kind of a standard rule that everybody should adapt, because I can place an effect on my house and have it go crazy, but everything underneath it, if I add an effect to the wreath, it takes precedent, and that part will operate independently of what the whole house model is doing with an effect. So that just needs to be standard practice. Okay, let's scroll down here a little bit more. We talked about the matrix with the Santa Man getting down on the guitar. On my arches, I went with a circles effect. Who puts circles on arches? That's got to be crazy. But you know what? It's kind of a neat effect. And depending on the colors you choose, it changes the speed of it. So if I was to add white in here, look how it kind of slows down. And it's just kind of bogging itself down. Still colors. Take white out, and then it's going to speed up. If I add black in, you'll notice there, look at this one that's just trailing in from the right and bouncing from right to left, while the other ones are just kind of moving slow. I kind of like that. But I'm going to put it back the way I had it. There we go. And then if we look at mini trees, I'm just using fire. And my yard outline, I'm using circles again. I just wanted something happening in the bottom, but I didn't want it to take away from what's going on with the rest of the house. You know, the focus is kind of on the screen and everything else. I have yet to put the mega tree in here. That's next. I'm going to be doing something interesting with that, where in the music where it's like ho, then ho, ho, ho. I'll have those words probably come out and try to do something kind of cool with the tree before it transitions into the lyrics with that journey feel. So that's it for now, folks. I look forward to sharing more, hoping you're enjoying this and getting something out of it. Drop me a line. Let me know what you like, what you don't, and have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch up with you next week. See ya.